tune twice. The first time we play it, it's going to be featuring a section. The second time, we're going to do an arrangement that is in harmony. So the first section we are going to feature, because I'm biased, I played trumpet in school starting back in 2005, is the trumpet section. Trumpets, hold up your instruments. Woo, the trumpet. So yeah, trumpets are what's known as high brass. So soon we'll have students switch to French horn, and they will come from the trumpet class. So the first piece we are going to be playing is also the first pass-off in Tradition of Excellence, and that is Cuckoo. The second tune that we're going to be playing for you all is a classic, the original one-hit wonder, Hot Cross Buns. And so I know that they have all recorder classes across America. For this one, we are going to be featuring the low brass students. Low brass, hold up your instruments. Woo! These are the low brass. They are the foundation of the band. We've had a few students move in that played a baritone or tuba at another school. And so after this concert, we're going to start switching students onto tuba and baritone as well. But low brass make the foundation of our band. And so here is Hot Cross Buns featuring the low brass section. Now, here at Ramay and in Fayetteville Public Schools, we are a group. There are many band directors. We like to say one FPS. And there are two very special people that I would not be able to help the Ramay Band program be as successful as it is without them. The first is Mr. Marshall. Mr. Marshall, will you give those away? Mr. Marshall teaches the low brass class. So the students you just heard, he works with them every day. He also helps out at the high school and with our 8th grade band. In addition to that, we also have our percussion instructor. He teaches percussion for the entire district, and that is Mr. Bruska. Mr. Bruska. And at this time, we are going to be featuring the percussion section. They are going to be playing excerpts from the Wessels book. So this is lesson 5, excerpts number 3 through 9. And this is going to be with an audio track, actually.
Exercises 3 through 9. 1, 2, ready, go. Number 4, 1, 2, ready, go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brewster. That was fantastic. All right, we are going to continue our journey through the different sections with our Army this year. Clarinets, hold up those instruments. Look at all those clarinets. Now, for this class, we'll have lots of students switch. We'll switch on to saxophones, bass, clarinet, hopefully even an oboe and bassoon in there. And so a lot of those students will be switching, but that is the class we absolutely want the most of. I could not be happier. They are going to be featured on Mary Had Little Lamb. And for the last section, they are small but mighty. We have our flutes. Flutes, oh, here. Flutes, come on up. Flute is the highest pitched instrument in band, and so for this one, they're actually playing a bit of their lower register. So it can be kind of hard to hear, especially for beginner flutes. So for this one, when we do the band accompaniment, it's going to be reduced. We're going to have less students playing with them. They are going to be playing a classic traditional song made popular by the Big Bang Theory, and that is Soft Kitty. Now, there is a famous band composer by the name of Jack Stamp. Those of you that were maybe in band in school, you may have played some pieces by Jack Stamp. He gave this speech a number of years ago at an all-state band conference called Why Music Matters. And it's become kind of famous in the band world. And what he talks about in it is that music demands perfection. And it's one of the few things in life that demands perfection. You know, for example, in baseball, a batting average of 300 is generally considered a good batting average. That means out of every 10 times you go to bat, you're hitting it 3 times. He said, imagine if you played an instrument where you only played every 3 out of 10 notes correctly. Or he said in football, you have built-in failures. You get 3 tries, and you can try again a 4th time, or you can punt. You know, you can't punt a B flat in band. You have to do it. Now, he also admits that no one's playing defense in band. You know, the tuba's not coming up and trying to do battle with the flutes in the middle of them playing. But music is one of the few things in life, and even though we rarely achieve perfection, we have to strive for perfection because every mistake gets in the way of the story we're trying to tell with music. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to demonstrate why this is so important. Now, fingers crossed, we are going to play Go Tell Aunt Rhody. First time you're going to play it, it's going to be 100% correct. All right, so here we go, students. Those of you that are doing 100%, let's hear it. mistake in there, but that was pretty close to 100%. Now, there's about, I think, 27, 30 students playing. That was 100%. Each student is now going to play 91% correct. That's an A. So every student individually is going to be playing an A average. But that's 60 mistakes when you have 30 students. So this is what it sounds like if every student is still playing an A average, but not 100%. And not quite as clean. That was an A. Every student still got an A. But let's take it one step further. What if every student played at a C average? So now each student is going to make 6 mistakes. Still a C average, but now 6 mistakes times 30 students. I don't know, my wife's not here. I don't know that math off the top of my head. It's what, 180 mistakes roughly? So with that, let's hear what C average goes on Brody sounds like, okay? So it sounds a little bit different, and it really shows you just how much work goes into what the students are doing when we compare it to the 100%. Now, for the last 2 items on our concert, we have some really special things here. We have only 2 things left to play. I told you it's an performance. We're inviting you in the classroom. You know, it's only ready to be playing. Usually the winter concert is the first time we get to play a full piece of band music. And I at least wanted to give the students a taste of that. So we're kind of playing a piece of band music. We're starting halfway through the piece, and we're going to play with an audio recording. So that's going to help supplement some of the percussion, some of the instruments that we've not yet, switched students onto. But it's great. The students are doing an awesome job. It has some clapping in it. It uses a lot of 8th notes, which is instead of 1 note per beat, that's 2 notes per beat. And they've been doing a fantastic job on this. So this is half of Shadow Fire by Randall Stanbridge. I'm so proud of them on that. And giving them those kind of experiences will really help prepare us whenever we do those full things. So it's a lot more intricate rhythm. We're starting to introduce some of those complex harmonies. I'm so proud of the progress they've made. Now, our time-honored tradition is finally here. In music, I'm a firm believer, not even in music and everything, there are 3 sort of trifecta points. There is creation, recreation, and intelligent consumption. So for example, creation, writing a book, designing a bridge. Recreation, reading the book, the construction workers that built the bridge. And then you have intelligent consumption, looking at the book and being the editor, looking at the plans the architect wrote, and you're like, hey, this bridge is going to fall down. Or like, my goodness, why did you put the drain plug here for the oil? Nobody can get to that. Intelligent consumption. And those three work together. And so I try to do all of that. We listen to music, we talk about it, what do we like, what do we dislike, what makes it good. Recreation, that's what you're seeing on the stage right now, is playing music that was written. But then we have creation, creating things that have never been done before. And so we had a scary story contest, and one student's scary story was chosen. That is Grace Huey. She wrote a piece called The Halloween Dare. Hey, you can around. I was going to people on this side. She'll battle at the end. And the band is going to create a soundscape to this. So we are going to be using sound effects and special percussion instruments, or instruments in unconventional ways to create the mood to it. We're going to do a dramatic reading of her story. So, percussion, are we ready to go? Do we still need a second? Give it one more second. Awesome. All right, at this time, I present to you all The Halloween Dare by Grace Huey. Ever since the dawn of rain, there has been a time-honored tradition amongst Rainy students, a tradition only few have dared to take part in. Of those brave enough to try, they are never heard from again. Some say they don't come back alive. Others say they are expelled before the next school day even starts. Paul said all of this with a massive sneer on his face. Paul was talking to our two very unfortunate main characters, Ed and Mabel. Of the two, Ed was known for being quite gullible. Come on, Paul. What about this tradition is so scary? Ed asked suspiciously. I'm glad you asked, replied Paul. You see, every Halloween Eve, a student is challenged to complete the Rainy Halloween Dare. The Rainy Halloween Dare is simple. All you have to do is sneak into Rainy on Halloween night, make it into the band room without being caught or killed, and write trick or treat on the band director's whiteboard. Ed had an unpleasant feeling hearing this. Before Paul could continue, though, Mabel chimed in. All of this sounds like a big load of hooey, said Mabel with disdain. Paul, clearly annoyed, ignored her and went on. And the reason that I tell you all of this, Ed, is because the kid that is getting dared this year is you. If you don't complete it, everybody will know you are a chicken. And with that, Paul loudly stomped off. You could almost hear Ed's heart pounding in his chest. As the two were left standing in the courtyard, Mabel turned to Ed. Ed, you're not really thinking about doing it, are you? Mabel asked suspiciously. So what if I am? Ed responded defensively. Mabel responded, scoffing at him, because only an idiot would really do that, and all Paul is trying to do is scare you and get you into trouble. Ed, mad at being called an idiot, sulked off. At that moment, though, Ed had made up his mind. He was going to Rainy tomorrow night and complete the dare. When Halloween night came, Ed arrived at Rainy, thunder booming in the distance and the wind rushed while carrying leaves away with it. The sun had set not long ago, and in its eventide afterglow, Ed could see Rainy. Ed noticed how dead and eerie Rainy looked in the dark as he approached the back of the building. Ed wasn't a strong climber, so he couldn't get over the gates into Rainy. He kept trying, door after door, trying to get in. As Ed approached the final door, he pushed it and it opened with a loud clank. Once inside, the blood ran from his face. He was face to face with someone. But to his relief, though, it was just Mabel standing there clicking her tongue. What are you doing here? Ed asked in outrage. I am here to stop you from getting expelled, Mabel replied, clearly exasperated. With that, she moved in front of him and stuck out her arm to block the hallway. Ed pretended to turn around, but quickly dashed under Mabel's arms and ran into the school. As Ed ran forward, he passed the attic room and found himself in the 8th grade commons area. As he stopped and looked around, he heard stomping from behind. Mabel came jogging up next to him. "What is wrong with you?" she hissed. Ed didn't feel bad for tricking her, but he wanted to complete the dare. He looked at Mabel and taunted her. "Look, if you don't want to, you can just leave." Mabel rolled her eyes and turned to leave. But when she got to the door, she suddenly realized it wouldn't open. She looked back at Ed, who noticed this. The two jogged to another set of doors, and those also wouldn't open. Every door in the school was stuck in place. Ed looked at Mabel. "Well, I guess we are going to need to find another way out." With that, he began walking towards the band room. Mabel soon joined him, having no other way to leave. As they walked, they could hear the squeak and squimp of their shoes on the tile. Rain began pattering the roof as the storm brewed outside. Mabel turned to Ed as they walked. "All we have to do is get to the band room, right?" Mabel asked. Ed replied, "Yeah, that and write trick or treat on the whiteboard." Suddenly, Ed tripped and fell to the ground. As he and Mabel looked at what he had tripped over, their faces suddenly turned ghostly white. Ed had tripped over a human arm. Grotesque noises began echoing from around the school. The two shot down the hallway and began running around wildly. Suddenly they saw an odd silhouette down the way. It was wearing a ripped red rainy sweater. Mabel stuttered. Is that Dr. Johnson? Mabel's voice quivered from fear with every word. However, as the figure stepped in the circle of light, it was clear it was a monster out of a nightmare. The creature had no eyes and its body was decaying. A loud crack of lightning struck the building. The lights went out and the creature let out a piercing scream while moans of horror could be heard around the entire school. Ed and Mabel could hear the creature's footsteps quickly approaching them. The two sprinted away as fast as they could. They ran into the courtyard and slammed the courtyard door behind them. "What is this thing?" Mabel cried. "I don't know," Ed responded. It doesn't matter. We're almost to the band room. Let's get there quickly and get out of here." As he said this, the creature slammed into the door with booms resounding. More figures began coming out of the gym towards the two. Leading the charge was an otherworldly creature. It was a living version of the rainy red wolf with glowing red eyes. Its angry face was twisted in a grotesque snarl. "Run!" Ed shouted. He and Mabel ran around the corner towards the band room. They were able to get in and slam the door shut behind them. "What do we do?" Mabel asked. But Ed didn't respond. "Ed?" she asked. But Ed wasn't listening. As if almost hypnotized, Ed began walking towards the whiteboard in the front of the room. He picked up the marker and began writing. When the door suddenly began thrashing wildly, "Ed!" Mabel screamed, but it was too late. The red wolf's angry maw pushed the door open, grabbed Mabel, and pulled her out. Ed, still in a trance, slowly began writing on the board. He almost didn't even notice when the red wolf's teeth wrapped around his torso, dragging him away. The next day, Mr. Cotton came to work as he always did. He noticed a few music stands and chairs were out of place, but nothing else. As he set his stuff down, he noticed a single smudged word written on the whiteboard. Trick. From that day forward, Mabel and Ed were never seen or heard from